Forget five-star performances. This is what win titles. Arsenal went to Brighton and found a way, and that is what matters more than anything else. Wow, tonight we showed maturity. Was this a beautiful game? Nope. Were we dominant? Nope. But was this win massive? Absolutely. Especially when you remember the fact that in a certain Etihad Stadium, a team called Nottingham Forest did the Lord's work. And that's all that matters. Arsenal went to Brighton, a very tough ground, a ground that have not had some peace in the games we've played in the past. But what was important was that we went to Brighton this time and all we needed was 3 points. Sometimes beggars can be choosers. Please give me 3 points, please, anyhow, things like that. There are actually nights like that, and this is one of them. I would have come here to start gloating about how we bust them up. We did not do nada. This was just a game where we needed to come there, do what was required, and we got it. And while this game was going on, we were actually following the proceedings of what was going on at the Etihad. Semenyo scores 1-0. Come on, what's going on? See what's in here? Morgan gives White 1-1. All right. Rodri 2-1. And of course, Elliot Anderson. The Lord's work. Did it then, man. We'll go to and talk about it much later. But I'm just, I'm buzzing right now, guys. This is becoming a reality, guys. This is becoming a reality. Well, it's one game at a time. We have played 30 games, 8 games to go. That's 8 finals to go for us. Yeah, we're still in Europe. Yes, we still have the FA Cup against Mansfield Town. Yes, we have the Carabao Cup final with Man City. But you have to focus on what is in front of you. And that's the Arsenal versus Brighton game. For our confirmed lineups, as we expect, Brighton plays the team that, has been a consistent team for them. Verbruggen was in goal. Matt Bifa was on the left back slot. Fedi Kadrioglu was on the right back. Matt Bifa was on the right back. Fedi was on the left back. And of course, I expected to see Lewis Dunk alongside Van Hecke. But, Buscagli played ahead of him. Buscagli is much younger. Buscagli is a left footer with a good wonderful left boot. Because basically, he was the one that was crossing the corners from the right-hand side from them. Of course, Carlos Baleba, the former 100 million man, was there. He played alongside Pascal Gross, who was the captain of the night. Martin Sherwood played 10, while Kaoru Mitoma was on the left-hand side, with Diego Gomez on the right. And of course, I expected to see Welbeck start this game. But for some reason, Fabian Hotzeler chose Jorginho Ruta. Who am I to argue? On the Arsenal end, we had David Raya in goal. Piero Hincapié continued his good football form, playing ahead of Calafiori on the left-hand side. With Ben White injured, obviously Timber had no choice but to play on the right-hand side. Then we had the unfortunate news that Saliba twisted his ankle when he played against Chelsea. And he played through injury, actually, So Saliba had to sit out this game. And even if Saliba was not in the game, we had Mosquera. Mosquera is just a gem, man. I can't even believe that. I can't believe that guy cost us 50 million. That is just a steal from Valencia. Mosquera played alongside Gabriel. We were very concerned about Declan Rice's health going to the game. Remember that during the Chelsea game, he opted to come out of the pitch. But Rice started alongside Zumendi, another player that has been very jaded, and it really showed in this game. Brighton played in attacking midfield with Bukayo Saka, the captain of the night, on the right-hand side. Martinelli, interestingly, played ahead of Leandro Trossard in this game. Trossard is someone that has been struggling in recent times. I think I'm even going to do a video on Trossard very soon for you guys. So just watch this space. And of course, Victor Gyökeres led the line. Looking at the stats, trust me, they were not pretty. Like Brighton basically manhandled us, in all honesty, in every sense of the word. Starting with XG, they had the XG of 0.80. We had the XG of 0.43. They had 11 shots. We had 7 shots. They had three on target. We had two on target. They had two big chances, and they missed both big chances. You know, they even had more passes than us. Given, of course, we committed more fouls, had more offside, had more corners. So very interesting, a game that we've been outplayed. It's been a long time since Arsenal have played a game where we have struggled. You see how the whole shot map is here. All the stars are via Football. Football is such an amazing app. I always use them for stuff like this, and they always come up with the good. So please try to download them. I know there's not a free plug from them, but just letting you know how much I enjoy the app. Of course, in terms of the passing, it was evident that Brighton passed better than us. They had 465 passes to our 322. They had 82% accurate passes to our 70. So they really outplayed us. The stats clearly showed that this was a game we were not meant to win. Defensively, they had more tackles, had more interceptions, but we had more blocks, clearances, and our keeper made 2 saves. Now, there's no better place to start than the title-winning moment from Bukayo Saka. In my match preview, I spoke about how I needed Saka to step up even while the watch along was going on. Yeah, for those that were part of the watch along, thank you so much for being part of it. It was awesome with you guys, as always. Started from the lineups to the final game and all that. We had the emotions together. If you want to have a set of my watch along, you can check the channel. Obviously, it was nice to see you guys on there. So this was all it took. 9 minutes into the game, Saka receives a simple pass from Timber, cuts under Fede Kadioglu, and just fires a hopeful shot, into the goal. And for some reason, I don't know how that ball went past Verbruggen, but trust me, I do not care. Let me repeat myself. I do not care. Saka got the ball, blasted it past Verbruggen, and that was it. Because in the course of the game, we didn't really have any more chances like that. Okay, there was one that Kai Havertz had, but it was blocked. Just have chances here and there. But this gave us all 3 points. In games like this, in grounds like this that are very tough, these are the kind of chances you need to create. And we've been talking about this for quite a long time, that we need to shoot more from outside the box. I've been saying this thing since, I don't know, man, since forever. Yes, we always want to have that perfect goal, pass. But sometimes just shoot the bloody thing. As the saying goes, if you don't put in the lottery, you can't win. So Saka blasted that shot, and that turned out to be the match-winning moment for us, and that was all that mattered. And of course, you can't talk about this, you're not talking about defensive solidity. Let me just go to FPL and look at the DEFCON stats. Gabriel, 17 DEFCONs. Hincapié, 16 DEFCONs. Timber, 13 DEFCONs. Rice, 11 DEFCONs. Mosquera, 9 DEFCONs. Of course, for those that don't play Fantasy Premier League, DEFCON basically means defensive contribution. And for defenders, it has to do with your clearances, your interceptions, your blocks, and what's the third one? And your tackles. Gabriel was crazy in this game. Oh my God. I think I will need to go to Footmob and just look at Gabriel's stats individually. Yeah? He had 1 tackle, cleared one off the line. Yes, oh my days. Did you guys see what happened in the beginning of the game? Okay, they give Raya a pass. He does no. Okay, I love Raya. But sometimes, man, that guy's head is a touch. Raya played the ball directly to Baleba. Baleba chipped this man's life, and we had Gabriel to knock the ball over the line. This was 2 minutes into the game. We're not going to settle into the game, and this was already happening. That was about to set the tone. Obviously, Raya kind of recovered eventually, but that clearance off the line was important for us. It was Gabriel that did that. He had 2 blocks, 14 clearances, 8 headed clearances, and 2 recoveries. As for his duels, if you lose a duel, Arteta is upset. He had 4 aerial duels won and 4 aerial duels contested. That's 100% of his duels. And that means that that cannot be upset with Gabriel because he won all his duels. Woo! Busquera coming into the team, playing alongside Gabriel. Yes, he had that moment where he got an early yellow card, but at some point it was now becoming scary. Especially when Yankuba Minte came into the game. So we had to now reshuffle, take him out, bring in Calafiori to the left-hand side, then played Hincapié alongside Gabriel. And that's the thing, that versatility. Hincapié actually came to this club as Jacob Kivio's replacement, but he had been doing so well playing as a left back. So, when we just switched him to centre back alongside Gabriel, he went to right centre back, while Gabriel stayed in his left centre back's position. It was perfect. Like, I love these guys. Our players are awesome. They just know how to defend. There's so much talk about how I watched Tom Canton's the Gunnar Talk podcast early this morning. And there was a section when he was talking about when they showed some tweets from Gary Neville, from Jimmy Carragher, speaking about how we are so weak mentality, we're not strong, blah, blah, blah. And I try back on those days when we played against the likes of Stoke, when they would bully our players. Fam, we're not all about that life anymore. Like, we have the strongest lads in the business right now, especially in the Premier League. No striker wants to come up against Gabriel or Saliba. These guys are thick, these guys are strong, these guys are monsters, and they'll make it clear to you that you ain't shit. Jorginho Ruta had basically nothing to do. Even when they brought our boy back, Danny Welbeck, he spent more time being frustrated with the ref because, man, Gabriel did not give this guy one single room to breathe. And the fullbacks, Timber and Hincapié, were awesome. Like, they were awesome. My God. Like, their performances were so great. And I'm very happy to see how they played. So, in games like this, it's your defense that you have to use to maintain that solidity. While you just want to do something in attack, you can get something from it. We have played 30 games in the Premier League so far, and we have conceded 22 goals. Guys, that is insane. Yes, I know we are not going to get, of course, the Chelsea record has already been bypassed. At some point it looks like we're going to get it, but leave that out of the way. Arsenal is a very good defensive team. My goodness. Whoa. Like, I couldn't be prouder of our lads tonight. Brighton came at us, man. Like, if you see me in the watch along, you remember that moment in Ice Age where the guy was biting on his fingers, then he's biting on that person's fingers. That's how nervous I was at some point. But despite the nerves, there was this calm. You have Gabriel at the back, you have Timber. Like, our defenders were so composed, my God. And I have to give it to them. They were the ones that actually made this game possible with the victory, with their complete performances, which is what we need. And you cannot speak about them without talking about the midfield control. Declan Rice, oh my days. This was someone that was injured against Chelsea, right? This was someone that we were very scared whether he was not even going to play at all. But guess what? This guy came through. Like, he was a monster in the midfield. My God. Even when Zubin started slacking up the place, the Clarice had to even cover extra for him. Noga came, did some network and all that, but I wish this guy was my captain, man. Like, it was okay. I like what they did. I don't have the strength to talk about captain and all that crap right now. But Declan Rice, my God, he's a contender for player of the season. No doubt. The guy is just amazing. His corners were, some were good, some were not too good, but his performances were amazing. To player ratings, Raya gets an 8. So the stellar performance for the Arsenal goalkeeper, making some very key and important saves as the game progressed. Hincapié gets a 7. He was bombing on the left-hand side, showing great pace and recovery, and doing very well as the game progressed. Gabriel gets a 7, and I give him an 8, but I just want to give him a 7. Another monster performance from him. Busquera gets a 7. He was doing very well up until the yellow card where he got a bit nervy, but he did okay up until when he was subbed. Timber gets an 8, lovely assist, strong performance. He needs a rest, but trust me, he was so good. Rice gets a 7, another good performance from him, all around, doing so well for the club. Good crosses, good recoveries, good interceptions. So Mendy gets a 6. He clearly needs a rest. This guy looked fagged out. He looked out of sorts. At some point, they were rubbing the ball off him before he was subbed for Nogard. Martinelli gets a 6. Sometimes I just wonder. He just goes off of the game out of stock. As in, man, it was very terrible to see his performance, in all honesty. The games when you think of the fact that side ahead of Trossard, he didn't validate that start at all. Ibrahimovic gets a 6. He was a bit inconsistent. We know he has the ability. We need to see more of that. Saka gets a 7. Quite a lucky goal, no doubt, but he did well. Gyökeres gets a 6. Kind of struggled in the game until he was soft for Kai Havertz. Okay, so what happened around the grounds? This was a game that was played alongside other fixtures. Surprisingly, Aston Villa were smashed by Chelsea. At some point, it was 2-1 for Villa, but the VAR cancelled Oli Watkins' goal. Then Joao Pedro went bonkers in the second half, and Chelsea won. It was a very good result for them. But this clearly shows that Aston Villa is dropping, because right now, we'll talk about the table after this. But as Emery, he might just get the boot at the end of the campaign with the way he's playing, man. Obviously, you know about the Arsenal Brighton game. That's what we're talking about right now. Fulham, West Ham. West Ham have been struggling in recent times. Fulham is just one inconsistent side, but they did enough to get a win, which is very, very important in the relegation battle. Man City. Yes! 7 points. Woo! Morgan is right. One love. Anderson, you're the real G, man. Thank you so much for that performance. Thank you so much for the goals. You just be on your own, you're doing your work, and someone else is not doing some other thing to support you. So Nottingham Forest, Vitor Pereira, awesome. Of course, while I was working on my slides, Newcastle were driving Man U with a red card, but are there any unbeaten teams left in 2026? The answer is no. Austin Brown in the building, we are massive. Yes, boss, preach it out. Those that the bad that don't hear you, use a megaphone and blow it to the horn, man. Arsenal are massive. Awesome, man. Thanks for being on the channel tonight. So, what does this victory mean? Guys, take a good look at the table. Arsenal has 67 points. Man City has 60. Yes, they have a game in hand, but that game in hand is like Jimmy Lannister's hand. It's against Crystal Palace. Who knows whether that game in hand will come and they will not do anything about it. But the buffer is back. Even if they win the game in hand, it goes to 4 points. So all we just need to do is to continue winning our games, and this league is coming home after 22 years. But let's not jump to that point. May will take care of itself. Let's focus. Elsewhere, Man United are still third, but it's 51 points, not 52. At the time when I was working on this slide, they were still drawing. But, they are still third with Aston Villa, who lost as well. Chelsea in 5th place. Liverpool, their shocking loss to Wolves yesterday, put them in 6th. Brentford, who had a ball draw with Bournemouth on 7th. Everton got a good win against Burnley to take them to 8th. Bournemouth 9th, Fulham 10th. And then, of course, the folks at the bottom half. So, who's our next opponent? We're going to play Mansfield Town next. This game takes place on Saturday by 1:15 p.m. This is a game where we're going to massively overhaul the squad. There'll be time to do a preview about it, probably on Friday. Yeah, I'll do a preview on Friday, even though I like using Friday to cook some kind of exclusive videos with my panelists and friends. But I'll still find out time to chip in a match preview for that game. I would like to see lots of Kepa, Miles Lewis Kelly. I don't know whether they want to be fit enough to play the game. But of course, Madueke, Nogard, a couple of folks coming and doing Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, people that actually need the minutes to come in. So there's a lot of time for us to think about Mansfield game. But right now, after Brighton, tomorrow I'll probably think of doing. I'm thinking of doing a video about Trossard. Yeah, what do you guys think about Trossard? His form hasn't really been good in recent times. His last goal was against Villa in December. Maybe I'll just talk about Trossard on Thursday, and I'll work with my panelists to talk about something nice on Friday. And of course, the Mansfield game. I'm not sure I'll do a watch along, but I'm going to do a match reaction certainly for the Mansfield game. And we know that after Mansfield, all roads lead to the Champions League, man. What is all the champion? Yeah, we'll get there, we'll get there. Okay, guys, this was awesome. I'm buzzing like hell. 7 points ahead of Man City. Just what the doctor ordered. That's just how we're going to do, man. So thanks for everyone that been part of the tonight's match reaction stream. Much love to you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The road to 4K is going up. I think we're on 395 something. But certainly we're heading towards 5K. Thank you so much. You guys have been awesome. I've been doing this since July, and I know I'm still young in the YouTube game, but I love what I do. I love talking about Arsenal. I have experience about Arsenal because I actually had a blog for 15 years. Check out Gunnar Daily. I used to be the one that owned that blog. I used to write about Arsenal. I used to write for Bleacher Report in the Arsenal section. So trust me, I've had some experience doing Arsenal. But now I'm doing my own thing, and I'm happy about it. Thanks for everyone that's been part of this journey with me. You guys have been awesome. So guys, this is where I say goodbye. It's 11:39 here in Lagos, Nigeria. And the man got to do his job tomorrow. So till then, man, come on, you Gunners.